Welcome, welcome to my lovely HP community and the 5D Collective. And to anybody who is new, welcome to a group of whole, inner, securely attached child adult people, okay? 5D mystics and 5D mindfully living and loving, empowered women and men and days. I don't know them, but that's where we're at. So we do ventral vagal. And when people do not like our frequency of connection, we know thanks to Debdena to leave alone those who don't like positive experiences. And we do understand, I do, as the mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, and I'm channeling here and there. And as you know, we're talking about love right now. And it's all about all love, but particularly some of those who will end up in romantic relationships. One, Terry Real, he's a great connection to have, fierce intimacy. Two, the people who won't want to access their 5D frequency, no big deal. They're going to do the 3D, 4D stuff. We all are aware of what it looks like when people are in their threat response. It's called emotionally unavailable people. So that's between losing passion and connection in their long-term relationships because they don't know how to lean in and talk to each other, to the ones who just don't know, hey, you there, you asked me, da, 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 and they don't have any kind of grown-up conversations, okay? So here we have empowered egos, and that's because we're all spiritual processes or sciences processes, which means integrated brains, higher self, mindfulness, mindset working, and great and dandy. We don't have anything that gets bruised, and that is why, though, we say authentic. So our self is expressed authentically, and that's because our inner child adult is empowered. We're not doing hypervigilance. We have open-hearted spontaneity. Okay, so this is where empowered people have passionate intimacy thanks to telling each other the truth and taking each other on. This is with actual cojones because, well, I know all about it because of not holding back. But again, that's where I'm an emotionally available, mentally available, physically available woman who completely loves all my 6 basic human emotions. And the fear is the most challenging. The panic attacks definitely gave me. But I mean, light body, light body, light body, rainbow body expansion, all the Kundalini awakening, all the spiritual awakening, all that great stuff. I'm an empowered feminine though. And I come with Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit. So it wasn't hard to get into the groove of things. What I didn't realize was I was already awakened to spiritual gifts. I just didn't look it up. So Claire's spiritual gifts and sciences talk to you about the flow state. It's not supernatural or superhuman. You don't need an activation key. Well, there is one activation key. Yes, that's you. That I had learned already from Jesus. And so let me read to you why. What's your activation key? Well, your activation would be this. The circle of compassion does not work and does not move the energy of life if one person is missing, and that person is you. And so if you do not access your own compassionate state, then I know you probably want to hang out with fancy lady in a suit and man and or the 4D collective who are waiting for their emperors and empresses to come and basically give them 12-karat gold rings and all that, let me choke you, things like that, which are completely uninteresting. Okay, so we here have empowered feminine mystic, which means I know empowered masculine that are mystics and empowered feminines. Okay, and so the truth is, some of them are really, really holding on to something that they've been meaning to speak out, but they're too scared. Well, it's not that they're too scared. It's finally they're realizing and having had enough practice being their inner securely attached self. So that's all. The empowered masculine takes a little bit of time. Like the empowered feminine doesn't take a little time. The disempowered feminine who becomes empowered takes a little time. Empowered feminine, what I can tell you is that we know how to speak up. And then if somebody says, you're rude, I'm so sorry if I can. If on the other hand, they just cast stones all over the place, you kind of leave it alone. Oh, and you're not afraid of risking a relationship. You can't actually fall out of my pocket. And that's not how relationships work. Yeah, it's the till death do you part thing. So all my relationships, my facade friend, let me use him as a example. Because it's not just in romance when you're a actual person who's a badass. So when you recognize your own self, that's when you're a badass. When you know to be seen, soothed, safe, secure is great. There's your inner child adult, which is why you're empowered, not hypervigilant. You're open-hearted and spontaneous. It's always, not just sometimes. Which is why you just want to hug when you're having any kind of debate. And that's it. And even if you're like, I'm going to leave upset right now, but I'll be back tomorrow to talk about it. That's how it works. So we don't really say our friendships are quits. No, we like to call our friendships family ships. And that's why we don't have the whole karmics. I mean, and even if you do have any of that, the reality is you would know as an empowered feminine, but you don't label people that. That's really objectifying, not nice. So I'm also partly from my heritage, Naples, Italy, so we're always passionate. We always tell each other in the face everything, and some people have now begun to be sensitive about it, and then the apologists are like, yeah, no way. So, again, that level of empowerment, I love it. So we don't care about rocking the boat. It actually isn't a boat that we're rocking. We're like, I mean, what the fuck? Can we not have like actual face-offs? So we speak up for ourselves easily. We don't need a mediator. It's because we love ourselves easierly. We have a healthy self-worth relationship with our non-reactive. So we don't speak up in a way of being unapologetically no. You know how to be polite to those who are being unpolite because you're compassionate in your ventral vagal state. And so as a non-reactive, you don't have disowned parts. So you're not like, oh, you should be so ashamed of yourself. None of that. Nope. You're a hollow bone, teachable, smart, bilateral, vertical, integrated brain. So we've closed that door to karma stuff, meaning reactivity. And we're all dharma because we do deep dive, so self-regulating in our ventral vagal while I'm interacting. It's automatic because it's called the differentiated self. Okay, so differentiated selves, the herald of change. You can't actually make us lose our stepping if you bring us uncertainty. We did that. We dance through uncertainty. The empowered feminine, the empowered masculine finally has a knack for it. So the empowered masculine is now like, okay, I want passion and intimacy. I only can get it from an empowered feminine. Those distorted feminines, yeah, they are not really cutting it because they don't have the immense expansion that the empowered feminine does. And that's why throughout this past winterish, they've figured it out. They're sitting in and like, okay, my soul contract is with me. And I'm ready to do more with me and that magical magic that I can bring forth as a true lover. And I do know what my vices are, but I'm not subject to them because I know healthy self-worth. And I'm getting rid of those maladaptive patterns of behavior or adaptive child. So we got an adaptive child. No, we got a person who got adaptive strategies for the maladaptive stuff. They got a functional child adult, and they're ready to wield that sword, which is the thoughts, the words, and the truth, and the voice with their ventral vagal. So they want to have a true, genuine partner. And that means somebody who can walk with you and never turn their back on you because that's what integrity is. So my facade friend, the reason I didn't talk to him for 5 years is because he is that type of relationship. I knew that. So an empowered feminine mystic right here. And that's where, again, spiritual gifts, clairs, and the sciences talk to you about the sphere of consciousness. So they're all the same. We bring together everything here. I do. It's a consilience approach because my right mode works great and dandy, and so does my left. And that's any intelligent with intelligence and pure consciousness people. So I'm here as a person who mindfulness, mindset practices for the ones who do it and the ones who like emotions and thoughts, which is why we don't have a problem speaking our authenticity and self. Food for thought, please remember. Discernment and discerning is always part of any intelligent brain, but you come in curious, not challenging. Challengers are people who are not curious, which means that they're a left brainer, which means they're not actually badass. They're still insecure people. Any self-empowered, secure woman, man, or they with intellect will be very much with their adolescent essence. It's called essential, spark, social engagement, novelty, creative expression. Thank you, Dr. Daniel Siegel. And we also have our whole 3-year-old heart. That's the Inspiring Human Potential community. So it's all ventral, it's all 5D, it's all intelligence and consciousness. So we're not here as stupid idiots. We also don't challenge each other because that would slow down what we are instead really, really happy about doing, which is playing in our playground and then bringing to life really great things. Oh, I love entrepreneurs, man. So that's the beauty of the badass, empowered masculines and feminines who are actively looking to the world and knowing wherever it is that there's in need of a person, if you will. I can't specify that one, but what I will say is they're not thinking that the fires in wherever that's happening or any of that other stuff are demons coming to get us, okay? So anyone who consistently talks about the spiritual war between, that's all 43D collective, this narrative 5D is grounded in reality. That means anything that comes out of my mouth can potentially be falsifiable. Why? Because hypotheses work that way, and I'm not creating hypotheses. But at the end of the day, the way I'm connecting something, someone could say it is. And so I say, I can understand it. I have a master's degree, and I love intellect. And therefore, again, anyone who is 5D is going to be grounded in knowing that we're here all together. And the one best thing that has happened is all the attachment trauma educators who are letting us know of all the people who can go and get into heaven in their body. That's why, as Christ shared with Sadhguru, or Sadhguru shared with us, Jesus says, the kingdom of God is within you. And that is, the therapists tell you, heaven is in your body when you have self-love, self-compassion, and a restorative embodiment. And every mammal can get there. Bessel van der Kolk was saying it may take 20 years, but it can be done. So any person with the right will, with their best interest at heart. They don't have to do it though. So we don't make anybody stick around if they're uncomfortable with our sense of ease. Again, people who don't want connection, they will detest positive people because we want it. And they're in the small, sad story of protection and refusing, like that avoidant, to go get therapy and continue it until they are ready to be whole, and then they will feel how amazing it is to have a relationship versus torture. So the people who are empowered, they know it's finally time, and if I want to speak my truth, it's with the one and or the ones who I feel safe, secure, and happy to share, because I know also they're not toxic positive. That they're person and people who are emotionally, mentally, and physically mature. That's what empowerment means. Using your ventral vagal means you feel deeply. We talked about this today. You can go tune into some of the episodes if you're curious. So the truth is that you get to share vital energy, health, and a sense of belonging with other and the world. And you set yourself free and you have wings to fly. And our souls, they always recognize the truth. Now, they recognize it based on your frequency, which is also why empowered people only end up with other empowered people, because anybody who's a scaredy cat is not going to be empowered. And like my facade friend, they're going to only be there because they had nowhere else to turn to. And that's not a good or bad thing, but that's how it works when people are insecure in this way. So the story of the friend, I didn't talk to him for 5 years because he's a true friend. That was the point, is I don't let me fake my friendships, let me fake my relationships. If you're meaningful to me, I will not fake anything. And so when people don't let me be myself, or they're not their self, but from my facade friend, I learned to ignore that. And from the attachment trauma education, I learned how people don't know their self if they're paused. So if you got a hypervigilant human being, they're not going to be someone you're going to even consider, because you're going to pick it up if you're an empowered feminine 5D mystic here. Masculines are different. The ones that I'm picking up on are empowered at this point. They're the ones who get to speak a truth, and it's all about passionate intimacy. And thanks to, again, wanting that and knowing what will come with it, they know that they will be leading a very deep, fulfilling, meaningful life of their own whole sense of self alongside another whole sense of self, and differentiated selves when they come together. That immense energy, it's amazing. And it's all in a state of love and compassion. And so passion is just, I don't even know in how many different ways to let you in on how, for an empowered feminine, never been hard to say anything, to be vulnerable. And you don't look to the past and say, if only I hadn't done it. I mean, you can, as you're pissed, say these phrases, but you know that you're just saying them out of being upset. That's, again, any one of us will know how when we're upset, we say things we don't mean to yourself. You don't speak them out loud at a certain point. Once you get older, as a teenager, you're learning all that stuff. If you're an empowered feminine, you quickly pick up on these things because you learn self-regulation in a healthy way. You can perceive when people are self-regulating and authentic. And like I said, my facade friend taught me really great how to notice these things. So with a lifelong partner, this is the part of where you will know that it's taking place because of the depths that you share together. Also, people, when they close up, the protection is immediately felt because they get small, energy small. And I know all about it at this point with all the right words and the time enough to have organized it to share it with you all by voice. So again, as a person who is going to close us out, The empowered feminine has not had any kind of questions since our planet began ascending, if you're wondering. The disempowered feminine has finally been able to become empowered, so they are looking forward to being with a securely attached, healthy self worth masculine, is how I'm going to bring it to you. And they are a healthy self worth, securely attached feminine. It's not gender specific. When you have people who know how to treat each other like functional adults at the very bare minimum, go check Terry Real out. And here, though, we are inner child adults, so our love is unconditional. But yeah, romantically speaking, if you can't speak to me the truth from your heart and have face offs consistently, that ain't going to go anywhere, because empowered people don't lie and don't hold back. And the best way I can use to say this is, besides my friend, my facade friend, I got another person who I became really good friends with. We're awesome together. At first, she was avoiding me because I'm a hugger. She didn't know how to tell me she didn't like hugging. And I found out because she was talking to somebody about this, about not liking physical contact. I had noticed her trying to, no, she kept on running away from me. I noticed it 3 times, at which point I'm like, well, maybe she doesn't like me. It's not, you don't need to be liked. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so offended. I didn't do that. Am I not decent enough to be saluted to her like I got from this other human being? No, as a grown woman, some people might not like me. It's not a bad thing. So I left it alone once I noticed by the 3rd time, because I didn't want to. You don't impose yourself on people. That's not actually what grown-ups do. Mature, empowered individuals who can be themselves, men and women. And they don't do, let me talk ill about them. Once you're getting old enough, you figure this is not actually mature at all. Okay, so there's ages. Obviously, we know that, in case you were wondering. But you organically move into emotional, mental, and physical mature if you have healthy adults around you, of course. You need to have the examples of the eventual bagel people, not the threat lady. No, they're a bad example. They want to be reactive, so they're also having you be in your distress modulated embodiment. That means not good stress. Meantime, I hear them talking, and now I'm like, okay, I say, I'm so sorry. I immediately spell out, I'm so sorry. I've been hugging you all over the place. Please forgive me. We'll do it this way. And I just said, you tell me when it's okay or if it's okay, and I will leave it alone and won't hug you. I'll just say hi from far away. And she was very grateful, happy. And eventually, she's the one who now seeks hugs from me because we built a relationship. The story is, this is a friend. She didn't know how to tell this to me as a grown woman. So, I mean, for me, I don't have stuff like that. Example, you're not decent enough to be saluted. I consistently reminded him by the time the evening was over, you're not going to be a friend. It's not about decency. Okay, so you don't lie. That's what I'm trying to bring forth. The empowered masculines learning how to do this. If they do it, that's great. They're going to have a really good experience, because it's something nice to be able to express your true self with people. And it's also because you build genuine relationships, the real ones. That's friendships and romance. You don't build genuine, deep, real ones when you're in protection mode. So the part about both, though, wanting it, whether it's friendship or romantic, is going to be something empowered people notice. Empowered people with non-reactivity will respect those who want protection, and that's because we don't impose it. If somebody wants the full-blown relationship, then again, they keep bringing up the truth to and between. Anyways, long story short, empowerment and lovely relationships. But I do know that it's been a while in the working. For those that I have been picking up on, you got the entire past winter to learn about it and yourself and stuff like that. So you're really like, or at least if it's not conscious, it's getting ready to come forth and to be implemented, and it's most amazing. It touches my heart. Love is always beautiful. So are the people who get to speak the truth to each other, be passionate, and then build what is a genuine relationship. My facade friend and I still have face-offs, even if I think he's a little bit more sensitive. But in romance, that's the part. You don't lose it when you're with a true romantic lover, which is only going to be if it emotional available, mental available, physical available. They know how to speak their truth. Otherwise, you're not going to have one. At least not for our HP collective, because again, navigating the safety of your bento bagel is what you do. And even if you're still learning how to do it, you're looking to do it consistently, and you know how to spot, like Dr. Daniel Fox presents, a healthy self-worth other. And those will be the ones who do not do characterological distinctions. They do not do judgments, and they do not twist their words. They are people who you know will say what they think, mean all of it. And even if you don't like it, they'll still tell you things. So the truth is like that. And actually, my Neapolitan heritage, we do it all the time. Some people have gone a bit more sensitive about it, but I love them for that. They're real and raw. And I really just love real and rawness. And you can only do that culturally and then with badass, empowered men and women who don't have any kind of sensitive. And that's, again, some people are not there. They don't want to be there. Others of us. And so come on, let's hang out. And it's always with respect. So again, I know I use words, but this is why it's not the words. We are apologetic always to people who will be upset. We try to work with those words so that we can enjoy conversations. We try to work with people who are sensitive. But I'm saying our intimate relationships for empowered people will be built with other empowered people who navigate the not only Jesus frequency, meaning consciousness of love, and so you don't take things personally, but also, again, God, brothers and sisters, not playing God. And so humble integrity, learning about attachment trauma. No one's a demon, no one's an angel, meaning that we're all people and we're all flawed. We all can make mistakes, grounded in reality. But it's here that you'll feel it, and it's here that you'll be it, and you'll know if you are it, and you'll know if you're not it yet. And if you're not, that's where, if you are needing Patrick Tiahan or Terry, they're out there. If instead it's just about practice, the practice is that you and I are imperfect, flawed, and that we can fuck it up and make mistakes, but that none of us are doing anything with the intent to hurt emotionally, mentally, or physically. Don't do physical because there's laws, but mental, emotional. Your intent is that you want to have an honest conversation. And if stuff comes up that is instead not, envy, jealousy, spite, those are not to be shamed, but that means we got some shit going down. What's the inner child of you doing? That's what the therapists help you to completely heal. And then once you're done with your child parts and you're a higher grown-up self, that is when you're an empowered person who knows how to take and have an actual conversation. And if you fuck it up, you know how to say, yeah, I fucked up. And to try again, it's something very easy. It is empowerment, not a person who still needs Patrick Tiahan in this case. If you're still afraid to speak up, then he's your best bet. You need to be seen, soothed, safe, secure first to be yourself. That's where he helps people to get to that inner child adult, although he doesn't call it that. Okay, so in the meantime, thanks for stopping by. I look forward to being back again. Like, share, and subscribe. It'll help the channel grow, and we'll be back again some other time.